thank God for me constantly dating a lot of these older Sketchpads, because this came right after the one I just showed last episode. Going from November 8th, this is by day too, this is November 18th, 2017 to December 31st, 2017. So this is the last of all my sketches from 2017. Eventually, there'll be the last of my life. Let's not think about that. Let's not get existential. Even though I do every day. This character... Oh, fun fact, this guy was going to be an Alice Darkson character. His name was Gray Smile. I forgot what his powers were. But originally he was going to take Hacksap's spot as the guide inside the Grand Walking Theater arc. I'm not exactly sure. The reason I went back to Hacksap was mainly just because I wanted to go back to... It felt right. Because in another early version of Alice Darkson that predates this, Hacksap was a character inside that. He was also treated as a guide. It didn't feel right just rejecting him, and I had a dumb reason for doing so. My reason for rejecting Hacksap originally was because I didn't know how to draw wolves very well. And I guess years later, I just decided, suck it up, Cupcake, you're gonna learn. I guess that's why the Hacksap we see now is much more cartoonish than a lot of his older variations. So I could sort of bypass my inability to draw animal limbs. But I think I've gotten better. I think I've definitely gotten better at that. This is an Alice Darkson character who's going to appear in the second arc. He's not going to look like this. He has a different appearance now. He's more formal than this, believe it or not. I can't say that much about him, though. This is another sketch that will lead to the Engineer of Heat. We were getting there. We were getting there with his design. Just 2 more years after this. This is a guy named Gisfer. He was originally going to be a villain in Alice Darkson, but, and clearly he's meant to be based on, like, Vilgax from Ben 10. He's supposed to be towering, too, as tall as Vilgax was in the original series, but that never came to be. And this guy is most likely not going to appear inside Alice Darkson as it is now, because when I reworked the story, he's just... I didn't have room for him anymore. Maybe, who knows, maybe he could make a surprise appearance. It'd be a surprise to current me. I don't know what this man is. He looks like he could be a tentacle hand monster. He goes hoodly doodly doo. I don't know. There's this guy, Urkel. His name's Urkel, with an I. And doesn't he just look like a fun fellow? There's like some bird monster coming out of a volcano, it looks like. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be a volcano or just rocks. He doesn't know either. He's shrugging and going, I don't know. Oh. There's an early interpretation of Void of Space originally when... see, I have this mask I actually made, and it's hanging on the wall right here. Let me get that. In many videos, I wanted to interpret myself with this mask. Now I don't because, God, you have no idea how easy it is to sweat under this fucking thing. God damn. And it just got kind of pointless. What was the point in... hang on, give me a fucking minute, children. What was the point in interpreting myself with a mask when I already showed my face at that point? It seemed kind of redundant. But this seemed like a mix between the Void of Space and the Butler of Time before I decided to make them separate entities. This here is just some punk girl. Very nice. She doesn't have a name, obviously. Very nice, though. Not bad. There is an Invader Zim sketch, which I can note a few mistakes here and there. Gur is tiny, like tinier than what he should be. Zim's torso area is too big. His head is a different shape than what it normally is. But overall, I was definitely getting there with my inspirations. Jonan Vasquez is one of my biggest inspirations when it comes to art, anyway. There was some sort of... I don't know, is he rotting or does he just have holes? I think considering he has rocky stalactite arms, he's supposed to just have holes. Not sure. Very interesting concept, 2017 me. You're getting there. Here, not so much. Here is just a meme. Alice Darkson going, boy. Boy. Y'all remember that? I used to make thumbnails for Cartoon Asylum with this inside the thumbnail. This is the sketch that led to that. It's supposed to be Vinny Vintage or Vandalous Vandal's head. So that's kind of interesting. Now this is a very important point in time. So remember how I said, so there was a story, and let me go ahead and tell the story really quick. So one of my roommates moved out in so it was around this time, obviously late 2017, and they were paying for Wi-Fi at this point, so we had to change boxes. But obviously it wasn't going to be like an instantaneous thing. There was a point in time we didn't have any Wi-Fi, so to pass the time, I was watching Corpse Bride inside my room with the PlayStation 2. And I noted one thing. I think I already mentioned this inside an earlier video, but I'm going to tell the story anyway, like I'm some kind of old fuck just telling old stories. But anyway, a lot of these characters are distinct just by their silhouette alone, even non-consequential background characters. And that inspired me to experiment with my art. And this was, I think, the first sketch that I made while watching Corpse Bride to experiment with that. And you're probably going to see a lot more Western experimentation. Like this here. Not that great. Very, very, very rough sketch. Not even sure who they're supposed to be. But this is the point in time when I started to experiment. This is some sort of Ventar, I suppose. This is some sort of house. Probably was going to use this for a horror story. Homeschool? No, it's a homeschool. Okay. Neato. Not sure what this was going to be used for. Oh, this is me venting about YouTube. Did you think you could broadcast yourself in 2018? And I guess it's meant to be like YouTube or a YouTube-like boss. As a final boss, I guess. some YouTuber fan art for, once again, another, like, hypothetical fighter. Man, I just liked making hypothetical fighters. I still do. Obviously, there's Oni and Pan Pizza or Rebel Taxi. There's probably going to be some more, let's see, Nightmind or Nick Nocturne with Mr. Creepypasta. And this over here, this is The Odd Ones Out with Jontron. Look at this little character. He looks like he did something bad. Some lady, I guess she's meant to be panda-like, because she's got a stick and she's got the ears, I don't know. Have you seen the Muffin Man? Have you seen the Muffin Man? What the fuck was this about? What was I thinking about the Muffin Man? Oh, here's Elizabeth Darlington, but instead of white eyes, she has black eyes. What's that text? I wonder how I can still see even without... Oh, no! These weren't black eyes. These were meant to be eye sockets. She was going to have no eyes at one point. And these were just meant to be empty sockets, you know, kind of like Tom from Ed's World. Actually, no. Tom actually does have eyes. They are just black. My bad. I'm sure a lot of people know Ember Crave since I made that short little animation with her. This is an early version of her before I really pushed the punk aesthetic, before she got her jacket, before she got her crazy fire hair, and she was originally just ginger, before she got her crazy weapons and her insane personality. She was getting in that direction. Obviously. Elizabeth Salem visits Dread Arm Forest. I guess I had the idea of her going to a forest of sentient trees that were going to attack her. Here's a sketch of Wave with weird ass hair. Not the kind of hair I would draw today, that's for sure. Her outfit was definitely getting there. I decided to be less of a prude and actually expose her stomach. We were getting there. We were getting to the less prudish era. She was more Sonic-esque, you could definitely see with her face. Speaking of Sonic, there's a character here called Overkill, who's a crocodile. He looks more like a hybrid between Omega and Vector. I guess he was going to be a character inside Wave's universe. Never did anything with him, though. Here's a crazy thing. I've always wanted to create a Five Nights at Freddy's styled either story or game. And always wanting this orange... No, not orange. Always wanted to use this octopus animatronic. I created him back in 2014. You'll probably see him in a later video when I go through my old DeviantArt. Anyway, King Throatsworth. Oh wow, I made Throatsworth back in 2017? Obviously, he looks way different. Look at this dude. Oh god. Obviously, I gave King Throatsworth more exaggerated proportions. I made his torso and head essentially the same thing, and gave him more lanky limbs, but this design isn't bad either. Just not what I would do now. The Day of the Boy. I guess this is when I had that Day of the Boy nightmare. And I guess I wanted to do stuff. This might be early concepts of like the Nightmare series I wanted to make, because this is the first time I actually thought of the concept. I just never did for some reason. Ah, the fuck. What the hell is this squiggly doodly thing? What are you? What are you? Answer me! Answer for your sins, squiggly doodly thingy. Here's a Fearling concept called the Spin Slicer. He has yet to appear in Alice Darkson. He will, though. He actually has quite an important role. Wanky dinky do. A buff shrimp. His name is Shrimp, but he's a buff shrimp. See, cause shrimps are tiny, but this man's big and buff. It's irony. I'm an asshole. This is a Christmas image. I'm laughing at the tree laughing at him. I'm not laughing at Santa. What the hell? Let's imagine a Christmas tree comes to life and it starts laughing at you dying. Ooh! I like this. Look at this man. This is a very surreal piece. Very neat. Very neat. He's got a key coming out of the back of his head. Obviously, this is meant to be like traffic-inspired world or location. I say location because most likely it would have been a case of like this guy being absolutely massive and someone would be walking on this road. Probably Elizabeth. Okay, this is a piece on the top left. It says depression. I guess depression always made me feel like I'm not sure what I was trying to get at here. It seemed like the idea maybe was like it makes me feel sick or like something's weighing me down. I'm not sure exactly what I was trying to say here. It does say depression. And this is obviously meant to be a physical embodiment of it, but I just can't remember what the thought process was for this. The Akumu Crawler. Oh yeah, this is before I actually decided on the idea of Fearlings. While I was making monster concepts, I don't think I actually called them Fearlings yet. I think they might have just been called Akumus? Or something like that. And this guy was just going to be called the Crawler before I decided, you know, base him more off of trypophobia and call him Tripo. This is a very old sketch of him, too. A lot more detailed than what he is now. Here is, I think, the first sketch of the Phantom. He was originally going to have 4 arms, and actually 5, because his tie is an arm, too. Besides that, it doesn't really seem like that much has really changed about him, besides some minor details. Maybe, like, the tag on his hat and the rounded out ears. And the belt. He doesn't have, the flowy part in the back of his jacket. Yeah, this is an early version of the Phantom. I'd say the first drawing of him, I think. He didn't change that much. He didn't change perfection. Ironic, because that's his, whole thing with the story. Eyeball. This is a brawler, I guess, and they have, like, metal gauntlets. I'm not sure. I never completed this one, so I can't really tell. Here is a concept of... This is when I officially renamed him to Zen, but this is before he turned... This is before I turned him into a zombie and changed his ethnicity. Because originally, a lot of his attacks were in English. Now all of his attacks are in Spanish. For example, this was originally called the Black Serpent. Now, the attack is called Haz Oscuro, which is not Spanish for Black Serpent. It's meant to be, I think, Spanish for Dark Beam. But all the attacks were basically the same. He still uses all of these, just different stylization. The Night Spin Dash is called the Melicaliko Armadillo. Shogoth's Mark. I don't think I ever gave this one a new name, but yeah, he could still do the Shadow Claws. Just maybe not in that style, though. There's a Muppet. His name is Mr. Striken. I guess he's meant to be a Frankenstein parody as a puppet. And I guess we have these ghost puppets following him. There's a sketch of my, oh yeah, this is the sketch of my, I think this was going to be for the cartoon platform fighter. It was going to have a school mascot character. And he was just going to be a tiger. He was going to be called Centralia. And it was named after the last school I went to before I had to get my GED. This, I think, is an early version of the Concerto Fearling, but originally he was going to be time-based. And I think it was actually going to be able to, like, talk and communicate with people. Either that, or I'm looking too much into the design I created. These are early sketches of like a more cartoonish Alice Dirksen. Obviously, this version didn't last. You could see her personality was a bit more bubbly, which she's obviously not now. She is the exact opposite of bubbly, I would say. This is me creating artwork of some old Flash games I used to play. You remember Avalanche or Interactive Buddy? These are games I used to play all the time on either Addicting Games or Newgrounds, whichever one I ended up on for either of these. But it was mainly Addicting Games. When I was young, anyway. Nowadays, it's always Newgrounds. This is I guess a pic of Twitter with memes under it. This is before Twitter went to hell. And with a sketch of like a snarky-looking, more cartoonish Ari from League of Legends. Of course, yeah, this was still a point in time when I was trying to figure out my style. I was trying to figure everything out. Kirby's getting punched in the face by some dude that I erased, apparently. I don't know. Is that Banjo? Just without, you know, Kazooie in a backpack? And some confused frog? It's okay, little guy. I'm very confused as well. Why did I draw Banjo without the backpack or Kazooie? Oh, because maybe I was trying to draw a Banjo in style. Seems like maybe I was trying to draw a Banjo-inspired character, but I just didn't know what to do. These guys here were going to be used for a certain short film I was going to make, but that never came to be, unfortunately. I still think about that periodically. There's cartoony Alice again. And there's this man. Look at this man. Look at this big old man. Don't know what he's about. There is a sophisticated lady with a samurai sword. Not sure what she was going to be used for. And it seems like that is it for... Oh, no. No. Join our cult, loser. I don't know who this guy is, but he has a very compelling argument. Empty. Empty. Oh, here's the first sketch of the Clythro. Originally, his tentacles were actually going to come out of his body instead of out of his mouth. I never completed this sketch, obviously, but it's neat to see like an early version of another feeling from Alice Dirksen. This is some Gorillaz sketch fan art of 2D, and he's wearing a shirt with an old design I used to use a lot, the C with the 3 lines in it. So, I guess I was shilling myself into 2D in some way. Here's another Gorillaz-based piece. Even though it's not specifically meant to be fan art, it's more inspired by, I forgot his name, the ghost that you used to see in a lot of music videos, especially in the older days of the Gorillaz. This is a point in time when I was starting to really get into the Gorillaz for the first time. And that is it. The last of 2017. Maybe not for the series. I'm pretty sure I might find some Sketchpads that might still be going back to 2017. But boom! This is pretty interesting. Not really too much interesting here. Just a few things that were very noteworthy. It was neat to see an early version of Elizabeth through this, and some other, and also the point in time when I went from my, like, you know, drawing anime to more cartoonish stuff, more Western inspirations I was starting to take inspiration from. So, yeah. Hope you all had a beautiful day. I hope it gets even better. Your connection will be strange.